Joining us now to discuss the diplomatic fallout in the wake of these airstrikes is the former U.S. ambassador to Iraq and to Kuwait, Douglas Silliman. He served in Baghdad from 2016 through last year. He's now the president of the Arab Gulf States Institute. Ambassador, you heard what my colleague Benjamin Hall just reported there from Jordan. He said the Iranian military is not capable of going toe-to-toe with the U.S. military, and so the ground war option for them is off the table. Is that square with you?
Well, what I would say is the way that the international press is characterizing President Trump's decision to strike Qasem Soleimani is either a complete and total failure or an unmitigated success. I see it rather as an opportunity. What you have right now is an opportunity to go back to using some traditional diplomacy to try to de-escalate the situation. And President Trump, in his remarks yesterday, was very clear that he did not want regime change in Iran, that he did not want to cause a war. Secretary Pompeo, in his conversation with the Iraqi president yesterday, also agreed that the situation should be calmed and de-escalated. And even Saudi Arabia has issued statements saying it is now time to figure out how to move forward without continuing the use of violence. The question now is, how can the United States exercise its diplomatic strength, its relationship with our close allies in the region and in Europe, to prevent Iran from taking the next violent step that he was talking about in the report from Amman? It's
interesting you say you think there's an opportunity for diplomacy here, because somebody who definitely doesn't think there's an opportunity for diplomacy is Senator Rand Paul. I want to have you take a listen to what he said, and then I'm going to get your reaction. Take a listen.
It's hard to imagine that the Iranians are going to shrink now and say, oh, you killed our leading general who's been a leader in our country for 20 years, and we're going to do nothing. I also think with the death of Soleimani, you have the death of diplomacy. I don't think there's any chance that Iran will speak to us again on diplomacy.
The death of diplomacy, he says.
Well, as an American diplomat for 35 years, I have to believe that diplomacy is never dead and that there is always a solution as an alternate to the use of violence. The concern now is, how do we convince the Iranians that their best path forward is not to increase violence? They have made so many promises to an angry Iranian people that see only red right now that they may feel they have to do something, as Benjamin noted in his report from Amman, to justify the statements they've made. The reality is, however, we need to be working behind the scenes, and I assume that Secretary Pompeo, the State Department, the Defense Department are talking to our allies in Kuwait, in Oman, in Qatar, in Europe. People have a different relationship with the Iranian regime. And while many people don't like the strikes that killed Qasem Soleimani this past week, what it has done is restored a measure of deterrence on Iranian actions. Iran was emboldened because for most of 2019, through strikes on oil tankers, through the drowning of an American drone, strikes on Saudi Arabian civilian infrastructure, and strikes on the biggest oil processing facility in the world, the United States did not take any military action and took very little diplomatic action. So I think,
and continuing to hold American prisoners in violation of international law.
I think they miscalculated what the reaction of the United States would be, although it has been clear for the past year and a half that in Iraq, and with regard to Iran's actions and Iranian proxy actions, an American casualty was this administration's red line. So that was met on the 27th of December when a barrage of 31 rockets, as General Milley noted the other day, seemed to me to have been meant to cause a casualty and cross that American red line, having tried for the past year to goad the United States into what Iran would hope would be an overreaction. Then the strike on, or the attack on the embassy and the strike on Soleimani, these are the four biggest escalatory events of the past year in Iraq and with Iran. And it's time now, I think, for, as President Trump and Secretary Pompeo seem to be beginning to do, find ways to cool down the situation, use our friends in the region like the Saudis and the Emiratis, the Kuwaitis, the Omanis, and maybe even the Qataris, to message to Iran and to make sure that they understand their actions taken in the next coming days will be met with similar American actions, but we do not want an escalation, as the President has said.
All right, well, Mr. Ambassador, thanks for joining us with your expertise today. We appreciate it.
Jillian, thank you very much.
You bet.